Okay, so in this video, I just want to talk about becoming a problem solver. So it's really important that when you're going out, you're thinking about others and not yourself. So whether you're meeting a landlord, whether you're meeting an estate agent, or whether you're meeting an investor, it's never about you. Okay, and the sooner you change your mindset on this, the quicker your results will happen. Okay, you need to create a win-win situation. Obviously, you don't just want to get into a deal that's going to benefit them and not benefit you. But the more you go into anything, so we talked about getting on viewings and not, getting paralyzed by the numbers and analyzing deals and just getting out there and building relationships. And this is an extension of that. So get on there, get out, and how can I solve their problem? But to be able to solve their problem, you've got to ask the right questions. And that's why you need to get on the viewings, because it's much easier to get the right responses when you're in person, you're building that relationship, there's a friendly atmosphere going on, and you can see that there's a mutual benefit of working together. So you start asking questions, how long's the property been empty? What struggles have you had in the past? How many properties have you got? What are your major headaches? Have you had any disasters with tenants? I often rely on, I thought, we've had a nightmare recently with one of our tenants, or, we had a terrible, time with some guests recently, or, but just try and get them to open up by you being vulnerable and sort of accepting that, you're not the best at what you do and nothing's perfect in life. And, so you're just trying to open the conversation up and untick those boxes. And what you're really trying to find out is, what problem are they trying to solve? And if you hear the words of, I'm sick of the hassle, I've had a few voids, I've had a few things trashed, the property's been on the market for a long time, we're not getting much action on the viewings, we've had a few offers, but it's not really where the money is. These are all sort of clues of, okay, well, could I switch this into a lease option? How can I solve their rental problem? Et cetera, et cetera. So, and that's where your toolkit comes into play. But first and foremost, you've got to figure out what value you can offer. There's no point just going in and shouting how great you are and what services you can offer when it might not be relevant to their situation. So you've got to understand this. It's like offering a 5-year rent guarantee might not suit a landlord that maybe thinks he might sell up in 2 years' time. And I made that mistake in the beginning as well, going out, oh yeah, I will give you 5 years, maybe 10 years guarantee, but they're thinking, well, I might want to sell in 2 years time. That doesn't really suit me. I'm going to be tied in. So, you've got to understand the person that's in front of you before you start pitching the offer. And then when you know what they want, then you can pitch the right offer and add value around it. And ultimately, they're then going to want to work with you. They're going to be desperate to work with you because your passion and your knowledge and your confidence, and as time goes on, your experience is going to ooze out, and they're going to work with you because they know that you are the perfect fit for for solving their problem. So when you start going into everything, and this goes into your marketing, this goes into your phone calls, your sales calls, your negotiations, your meetings, whatever it might be, with a framework of, I am a problem solver. What problems have you got and how can I solve them? Find out the problem and then solve the problem. And don't solve it in a way that benefits you. Solve it in a way that benefits them, but you get a small win out of it. Even if you get a smaller win out of it and they're getting the big win, it's still better than nothing. And when I started doing this and reframing the way I was going at landlords, investors, estate agents, I used to think estate agents were terrible. Oh, they're all terrible. They've stood me up on viewings. They're all a bunch of pricks, blah, blah, blah. But when you actually realize there are some good people out there and you put the time and effort into those good people and you try and help them solve their problems. So what would be an estate agent's problem? They've got a lot of properties on their books that they can't fill for landlords. Landlords are kicking the doors down weekly saying, why haven't you found me a tenant? Problem you could solve, you could be their tenant en masse. You could take a lot of properties off them. They've got properties that are on the books that they can't sell because maybe the vendor is being a bit sticky on price, or maybe they're trapped in a mortgage. You could explain to the estate agent how you could offer a lease option, but cut them in on the deal. Never cut them out. Solve their problem. So that's just one example of how you can solve problems. Now, the more problems you solve, the more money that will come into your life. And that is just, an absolute fact. So start changing the way you think about stuff, get out there, build relationships, find out what the problems are, and then figure a way out to solve them. And you will create a win-win situation for everybody, and you'll start to see huge, huge results. Okay. One little action item I want you to take is just drop into the group what problem you have found most that you're solving right now in your property business. Whatever department it is, what is the one problem that your value is solving right now? Drop it into the group and let's all bounce around the ideas, and you'll see what feedback you get. And that's the power of the tribe that we've got building here. People want to learn off each other, and the more that people put in the group, the more that everyone gets out of it. Hope it helps. Get out there, build those relationships, and start solving those problems.